Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. We've got match 2 of Bihan versus soldiers, red and white soldiers this time, versus blue-red spellslingers versus Obeka, Splitter of Seconds. Match 1, Obeka won pretty well, but most of the decks except for Bihan pretty good for their first showings for the most part. I have played the red-white soldiers against some people on stream, and it did pretty well there as well. This time, as we have been experimenting with, I have already played the first 5 turns. We're jumping into the beginning of turn 6 here on Vihan. Let me know in the comments if you like that, or if you'd like to go back to the way it was where you just start the game and you see all the turns, because I do have to catch you up real quick now as I go around. While Vihan isn't doing crazy good, there was a treasure token out early, and before everyone had creatures, so he was hitting a couple people for some 3/3 hasty treasure damage. He is out. He is a 3/3 that says, other outlaws you control have vigilance and haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have treasures you control become 3/3 construct assassins, which are outlaws, and they are in addition to their other types until end of turn. I also have Gold Pan, which when it enters the battlefield, it made the treasure, and I played that on turn 2, and it's equipment that gives it +1/+1. I also have Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. It's 4/4 flying trample. When it dies, you can exile cards or create 3 treasure tokens. It's there to make the treasure tokens. So let's go ahead and jump in. We've already drawn for this turn. We only have 4 lands out, unfortunately. I'm going to tap 3 to play Improvised Weapon. Deals 2 damage to any target. We're going to deal 2 damage to Rosie Cotton of the South lands over here. She made a food token for you, and over there, whenever a token creature enters in, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So in that deck, it's really good. And the nice thing is, we also make a treasure. This is our little treasure thing over here. So now we have 2 treasures, but only 1 mana left. And the problem is, yes, they will become 3/3s when we go to combat. It's great, and they have haste, but there's really no place. We could swing them at these 2. We've already hit Obeka twice with treasures. There's no need to keep going yet. I mean, we know Obeka is strong. They only have a fairy that reduces the cost of instant sorceries. This is clearly the problem. So we need more. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to tap 1, sacrifice both treasures to have red mana to play Plundering Pirate. When it enters the battlefield, you do create a treasure token. So it does get us 1 back, and it is a 3/2. So now we have an extra actual blocker. So we move to combat. This becomes a 3/3. It can attack. We don't really need to make, well, you know what? Sure. We will swing it at you. You'll just take the damage. It's just 3. You're at full health. It's fine. Then we're going to pass. Untap over here. Upkeep, draw for turn. Okay, we're going to play an Ash Barrens. Taps for a colorless. Now, over here, what happened is we have Baird out. Our Argavian Recruiter is a 2/2 at the beginning of your end step. If you control a creature with power greater than its base power, you make a 1/1 soldier token. We also have Kemba's Banner, which is a 4 Mirrodin equipment. So when it entered, we made a 2/2 rebel. We attach the banner to the rebel, and the equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control, which is pretty cool. We've made 2 soldiers off of Baird's ability. One of them got the buff from Rosie Cotton, and then we played Securitron Squadron, paying into it twice, so we made 2 copies of it. They have vigilance, they're 2/2s, and whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay, so this actually would have been 4 counters because each of these is a copy of Security Squadron, so they all have that ability. So that is pretty crazy awesome. We drew our card. It was just an Ash Barrens. I'm going to tap that and sacrifice the Mind Stone to draw another card because we need some more things. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. We got enough. To play Captain of the Watch, a 3/3 with vigilance. Other soldier creatures you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, create 3 white soldier creature tokens. Holy crap. Let's get there. And then because of this each one of these is going to come in with 4 counters on them. I guess I kind of have to draw all of them, although I'm not drawing them, but you get the idea. I'm not made of time. Board state's filling up nicely. So that's pretty crazy. So now these are 5/5s. Or 4/4s. They get 4 counters, so they are 5/5s. So we have 4 5/5s already. A 1/1, 3/3, and oh man, so this is 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A 12/12. We've been putting counters on Baird, thanks to Rosie before she got blasted. That's a 7/7 commander. Security Squadron's the only one that's just a normal little 2/2 and a 1/1. So yeah, we've got ourselves quite a bit of awesome board state over here. And I think we should take advantage of that. Now, of course, these 3 for sure have Summoning Sickness. The rest of these do not, and so does Captain of the Watch. So I guess we can kind of move these around just a touch to make it a little easier. So these 4 have Summoning Sickness, the rest do not. So it would be foolish to not attack. Now these are only 3/3s. We have the rest of them are low. These new ones are getting big, but that's it. I was still thinking of having Rosie out. So these new soldiers, and yes, these 3 new soldiers are only 4/4s because they get a counter from the 3 security squadrons. Regardless, we're going to move to combat. We're going to send this giant ass Kemba's banner creature at you because it is 12, 12, 8, 9, 10. You cannot kill it even if you stacked with everything. Then I will send these 2/2s. Well, I mean, they are buffing at things, and we don't want to lose any of them, really. I will send this 5/5 at you, and this little 1/1 soldier at you. These 2 at you. Big giant guy at you. You're going to go ahead and block with the Plundering Pirate. He served his purpose. He made a treasure and a blocker, which we needed, clearly. And unfortunately, there's no trample, so it just gets blocked. Over here, I mean, we're not really at a spot to be doing anything yet. Unfortunately, I don't think. Unfortunately, both of these are just going to, everybody's really getting outclassed by this new soldier deck for this game. So I will go ahead and block the 4/1, 4/4, 5/5, my god, whatever, math. With this little mocking sprite, it dies and 1 damage gets through from the actual 1/1. We then move to our end step. Plenty of creatures have power bigger than their base power, so Baird will then make another soldier, and it will come in with 3 counters. Wow, I have never seen this deck go this well. But I haven't been able to play that security squadron before. And like I said, it's a 2/2. It says Squad 3. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you pay 3 generic any number of times. When this creature enters the battlefield, create that many tokens that are copies of it. And it says Vigilance. When a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I was able to pay 6 mana into the squad in addition to the 2 necessary to cast it. I made 2 of them. They each came in and got the +1/+1 off of the original security squadron because they would enter at the same time, so they wouldn't see each other. But after that, every time a creature token enters the battlefield, it's going to get 3 counters. That's pretty solid. We're going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw, play a mountain for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Mizzix of Igmagus. It's a 2/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery with converted mana cost greater than the number of experience counters you have, you get an experience counter. Instant sorcery is cost less for each experience counter you have. I do have 3 mana. Sure, let's go ahead and get that party started. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3, and we also have double visions on the field, which is an enchantment. It says whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets. We're going to tap 3 for Electrolyze. It deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets, and you draw a card. So I'm going to deal 2 damage. It's going to copy. It's going to get copied. So yeah, we're totally gonna blast these 2. I mean, how could we not, right? That's what's doing the major work over there. And then we get to draw 2 cards though. Okay, 2 lands. Not super helpful, but kind of is, I guess. That's all we can do though, so we will pass. Although we've probably just made an enemy. How dare you blow up my things that were making me win the game. We're going to untap. Upkeep trigger at my upkeep. I have Midnight Clock. Beginning of each oh Jesus. It's like Bolster. It's the beginning of each upkeep. Put an hour counter on it. Alright, so it should be at 5 counters right now. Because I think I only missed it 1 round. No, I played it. Actually, it should have another 3. Because I played it, forgot about it, came back, I played whatever on turn like 5, realized, oh, I better put a counter on it because I was thinking it was my upkeep. And then we went around. So it missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Yeah. So when you get to 12 counters on it, when the 12th counter is put on it, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards, exile Midnight Clock. Which could be bad because I actually have a full grip, so we don't want to lose too much. And we just drew a really good card. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Darksteel Reactor. It's an artifact. Darksteel Reactor is indestructible, which is awesome. So you have to exile this particular artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a charge counter on it. When it has 20 or more charge counters on it, you win the game. Really good for her. But as you can see, she has Menace. We have Obeka out, 2/5 with Menace. She's not going to get in anywhere except for maybe over here. And her ability is when she deals combat damage to a player, you get that many additional upkeep steps after this. Now, unfortunately, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're going to dump our hand on our next turn, which we had some decent stuff in here too, which sucks. I guess we're not supposed to play Midnight Clock so early. For the longest time, I just never realized it was every upkeep. I thought it was my upkeeps. I have 2 mana. Regrettably, that is not enough to play anything in my hand, so we're going to lose this. We have some really good cards too, darn it. I mean, they do get shuffled into the library at least. Yeah, so it's not like we exile them or something, so we do have the chance of redrawing them. Well, that's true too, I guess. Who cares, right? We're going to go to combat because we're not going to win, but we're going to go to combat. We have Menace. We're going to swing at you. You're going to take 2. We are then going to get 2 upkeep triggers, upkeep phases, whatever you want to call it. So boom, that's a 10, and this gets 2. Kapow. And then we're going to pass turn. We're going to untap, moving to turn 7. Upkeep, draw, upkeep. This gets another counter. I guess we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and play Queen Marchesa. Play 3/3 with Death Touch and Haste. When Queen Marchesa enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. Kapow, we are now the Monarch. At the beginning of my upkeep, if an opponent is the Monarch, I create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch and Haste. Kind of ideally tries to keep people from taking the Monarch away, because hey, if you have it, I'm going to make stuff. But it's just a 1/1. Death Touch and Haste. Death Touch is nice, but it's not super scary, really. I mean, it is, but see, unfortunately, the colors don't match, but that would be a good one for over here, because at the beginning of your upkeep, you could theoretically have a whole bunch of triggers off of that. Regrettably, okay, we move to combat, this becomes a 3/3, but yeah, I'm not swinging. It's pretty much all I got. 3/3, 3/3, 4/4, 4/4. Foolish to swing. We need to keep that as blockers. We're going to pass. Untap, tap everything, upkeep, trigger, that's going to go. So this gets the 12th counter. We exile it, take our hand in graveyard, there's nothing in the graveyard, and then we shuffle our deck and draw 7 cards. Okay, well we actually got one of the cards back. Not the best one, but I mean, something I guess. Alright, so that happened. Now we come back to here, we draw for turn. We're going to go ahead and tap. You know what? First of all, I'm going to tap 3 and sacrifice the food. Is it 3? I don't know how food works. I don't know how food works. I'm stupid. I don't know how Magic the Gathering food works. I know you gain 3 life, but I don't know if it's you tap 2 to sacrifice it or tap 3. We'll just tap 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to play Aurelia Above the Law. 4/4 Flying Haste. Vigilance. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, I draw a card. That's period. They don't have to be attacking me. And whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, Aurelia, the law above, deals 3 damage to each of your opponents and you gain 3 life. Pretty cool. And that's when a player, so if I attack with my multitude of creatures, which I will, that will happen. Now the nice thing is, except for the Angel and the Squadron, everything is a soldier, so it all gets this buff off of Captain of the Watch. Well, except for herself. Now this little 1/1 is just a 1/1, so we're not going to bother swinging that one. So where do we want to go? We don't want, that's not a creature. Let's not distract ourselves. We could go swinging at these guys and like just take them out. Well, what damage do we have? Let's do some math. Let's go for it. We're going to swing almost the entire board. We're going to swing these at you. That should be 34 damage. Okay, so we're moving to combat. We're going to swing these 6 creatures at you. That's exactly 34 damage. There you go. You are donezo. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's just because of the last game. That's not fair. Yes and no. We know what Rebecca can do. She's clearly not doing it. Yes, the Darksteel reactor's out. That could be an issue if she starts to get some buffs on herself to get through and do a bunch of upkeeps, but it's not really the concern. It's that let's try and speed up the game. We go after them first. We're going to go after them next. Then it's just one-on-one. They're not too much of a threat. They're a threat more than them, but they could have all kinds of crazy instants and sorceries that could screw up our board. So we probably should have went with them first, really. But with Darksteel Reactor out, it's probably just best to get that out of the way. We still have these 4 up for blocking, and we are going to move to our end step. We're then going to make a 1/1 soldier. I forgot about the buff. This did not attack because I forgot Captain of the Watch was giving +1/+1 to all other ones. So that's 5 damage. These are 5 creatures. They get that. That equates it. So we have an extra blocker up, which is cool. But anyway, as I said, we move to our end step, make a soldier. It comes in with 1 +1/+1 counter on it because there's only 1 squadron still. Better than nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures to block with. We're going to pass. Man, soldiers is just wrecking. I love it. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to play a island for turn. Going to tap this for 1/2 to play an Airborne Flamesmith. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I'm going to play... No, I played a land already. I mean, I guess we can take that. No, screw it. Who cares? It's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana left. We'll tap 4 to play the human wizard here. Murmuring Mystic. It's a 1/5. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you create a 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying, which is pretty cool. So then we're going to tap 2. Now, this is an instant. I suppose we should sit on that. Yes, I think we should sit on that. So we're just going to do that. We're going to pass turn. Got to try and play it the way you would in a real game. Passed over here. Nobody attacked, so they are still the Monarch. So being an upkeep, the opponents are not the Monarch, so that doesn't trigger. We are now on turn 8. Still not as early as, you'd like to see, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Still, unfortunately, we're not getting any lands over here, which is a detriment. I'll tap 2 to play Riveter's Requisitioner. It's a 3/1. When it dies, create a treasure token, and I can blitz it for an extra mana, and then it just gains haste, and when it dries, but then you sacrifice it. So the point is, like, if someone's open, you blitz it out, hit them for 3, it dies, and you get the treasure automatically, as opposed to leaving it up as a blocker. But why would I want to do that? Let's go ahead and tap 1, 2, sacrifice the last treasure to play this creature, Jansen, Chaos Crafter, a 3/3 with haste. Tap him to sacrifice another artifact creature, or sacrifice an artifact creature. Create 2 treasures, or sacrifice a non-creature artifact. Create 2 1/1 colorless artifact creatures. So you can see the synergy there. Have a treasure out. He's got haste. You play him. You sack the treasure to make 2 artifact constructs. Next turn, you sacrifice one of them to make 2 treasures. You're getting your value like not exponentially, but increased. However, there's nothing we can do. Yeah, the deck. I mean, he's doing better this game, but not by much. We've got creatures out, and we made a couple treasures, but you can see there's just that need. We need to be making just ridiculous amounts of treasures all the time. And it's just, for some reason, I guess I just didn't have the best cards for that. So we'll pass. Untap all of this nonsense. Draw. Play a Sunscorched Divide. I will put this Ash Baron over it so that you tap that 1 land and it makes a red and a white. Fortunately, I don't have any card draw right now, and I have a good card. I have a Swords to Plowshare in my hand, so that's why I was holding, to stop anybody that comes swinging in. Now, they are beginning to have blockers, and we're not making as many creatures anymore. However, I still think we should just go over there and knock them out completely. And they have a card in their hand that can actually do some stuff. So let's play it out. Like, we're up against the blue player, as it were, one of the blue players. And they do have a blue mana open, technically 2. So now that I'm remembering the Captain of the Watch, 3, 4, 5. So these are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, which is actually 26. And then this is probably 14 now. So that's... Oh my gosh, I forgot my own friggin' thing. I totally attacked with 5 creatures last turn, so that's deal 3 damage to each of your opponents. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. And you gain 3 life. 1, 2, 3. Jeez. Okay. Pay the heck attention, you idiot. So we're not going to swing with Securitron, because that's giving the tokens at least a little buffer at this point. You know what? Hang on. We can still do this. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and tap Bonder's Ornament to draw a card. That's what we get. Hey, nope, that's a land. Awesome. Okay, whatever. All right, so we're going to move to combat. We are going to send pretty much everything at you. So that's going to be... We actually have to send the commander as well. So it's 5. So you're going to block, because this is like an 8/8, and this is a 16/16 or something. So you have to block these 2. I guess you don't have to, but you're going to block those 2. So then we get 5, 10, 15, 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So 33 damage gets through. Now, what are you going to do? But so it doesn't. That's what we're thinking. We don't realize. You're going to, in response, tap these 2 and play Snap. On cast, it's going to deal 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a spell, you're going to make a 1/1 blue for bird. That's going to be a blocker. That's the flying blocker, too. Technically, actually, we would have already had... So it would have cost 1 less, to be honest. We just forgot about that. But we also copy it. You may... When you cast your first instance, you copy that spell. So it's not another cast. But the point is, return target creature to its owner's hand, untap 2 lands. So you're going to untap these 2 lands. Unfortunately, we don't have any other instants or sorceries in our hand, so it's not going to help that much. But the point is, return 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. Boom and boom, right? Well, sorry, creature. That falls off. But so this creature actually just disappears because it's a token, so it doesn't go back to your hand. It just disappears. And he goes back losing the counters. So now you're going to block the flyer with the flyer. This little guy dies. You've got a 1, 2, 3, 3 on the ground, and then you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 26. So you still have to block unless you want to take like a crap ton of damage. I guess you'll block 2 of the 5/5s with that. So then it would be 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You'll take 19 damage. Still an impressive amount, of course. Now, we could have Swords to Plowshare something, but nothing would have gotten through because once you declare blockers. I guess I could have done it in response to the thing casting, but blah, blah, blah. We actually want to keep that because now we're a target for them to come sweeping in. Or they can try and take them out, whatever. But that's that. Oh, I don't have Baird on the field anymore, so we don't get another creature coming in, so we pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Play Temple of the False Gods, which is online. 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Stormkiln Artist. It's a 2/2. It gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, which is currently only 1. It's a 3/2. And then whenever you cast an instant or copy an instant or sorcery, you create a treasure token. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unexplained Vision. So that is my first. So I'm casting treasure, so I get a treasure. Double Visions is going to copy it, so I copy. I'm actually going to have 2 treasures. But I get to draw 3 cards. It's copying it. I'm going to draw 6 cards. 1. I'm going to go ahead and pop both treasures to play Highway Robbery. You may discard a card. I will discard this Hidden Volcano, which is land. If I do, draw 2 cards. That was a sorcery, so I actually make a treasure, which means I have 2 mana. Sure. Tap that, sacrifice that treasure, to then play the creature Razzle Dazzler. A 1/2, when you cast your second spell, each turn put a +1/+1 counter on Razzle Dazzler. Can't be blocked this turn. Decent amount of stuff done in that turn. I don't think it's going to help too much, but we're going to pass. As you can see, like, I am pleased with how that deck is performing. It's doing its thing. It's just not quite fast enough. So we are on turn 9. Untap, draw a card for turn. I didn't swing at you. Okay, so you still have the Monarch. Cool, we're going to play Treasure Vault. It's a land, and actually we need it more for the land at this point because you have to pay double X and sacrifice it to make X treasure tokens, so that would literally make 2 treasures. It's not worth it at that point. Okay, we're going to go 1, 2, and 3 to play Seize the Spotlight. Each opponent chooses Fame or Fortune. For each player who chooses Fame, gain control of a creature that player controls until end of turn, untap it, it gains haste. For each player who chooses Fortune, I draw a card and create a treasure token. Now at this point, I think they're going to say Fame, because who cares? Like, if I take one of their creatures, it's not a big deal. Although we would want to get the Stormkiln Artist, because then we could, so we'll take that, because we don't realize that they have instant sorceries in their hand. You want the same thing, because you're going to take, like, what are you going to do? You're going to take one of the 5/5s, but it won't be a 5/5 for you, it'll be a 4/4. You could take Aurelia. Dang it, I attacked with 5 creatures again. 1, 2, 3, I forgot. So yes, now you're going to both going to say Fame, you're going to take these creatures, because why wouldn't you? However, I only have 3 mana, or 2 mana rather, and it's enough to play 1 instant, and I can't do it until someone attacks, so it's not going to help. And I actually don't have the right mana for it, so screw me. All right, now what do you have blockers? Let's think about this, right? You have 3 blockers. You don't have any flyers. I do have some flyers, so we're absolutely going to send those for sure. But I kind of want to swing with at least 5 creatures to get the bonus, and I don't see a problem with that because you don't have. Okay, so this is a 2/2. This is a 3/3. This is a 2/2. So yeah. Now, of course, we will leave ourselves open if we go crazy, though. Okay, definitely swinging with the 2 in the air because you can't do anything about them anyway. So that's 8 damage. We're not going to get the trigger off of Aurelia because we're just not going to swing with 5 creatures. I will swing with these 2. I'll block this to just destroy it so that they don't get that back, and that'll make it easier for me to kill them later. And then we could let that 3, because if we don't, we give them a treasure. And then they'll have 3 mana. We don't know what they have, but we don't necessarily want to give them a treasure. So sure, take the 3, right? 1, 2, 3. End step, this goes back to you. Done nothing else. So yeah, pass turn. Really, really proud of this Soldier's deck. It does quite well. Well, it's okay, quite well, my exaggeration. It's doing decent in all the games I play with it. Against real players, against, in these matchups, it's been doing pretty decent. Untap, upkeep, draw. We'll play Sandstone Bridge, comes in tap. Target creature gets +1/+1 and has, so wait a second, it gets +1/+1 and gains vigilance until end of turn. So I guess, hang on, it doesn't even matter, right? We'll just say this little guy over here gets +1 of vigilance. Then, we don't need the commander tax, which is nice, so we'll tap these 2. Baird, then Soul Ring and 2 more to tap Bonder's Ornament to draw a card. Another land, you're killing me. I know we're doing well, but like we could finish it if we had the right, if we just drew into something decent. Oh, well that's a very, very valid point. Yeah, we're totally going to tap 3, including a white, to equip Kemba's Kemba's banner onto Aurelia, the flyer, with vigilance and haste. Oh, and she had vigilance, dang it. Anyway, because now she gets +1/+1 for each creature we control. And then she's force, that's 15. She's a 15/15 flyer. Your flyer's tapped down. So we're definitely going to move to combat. Get all these stupid lands. Having a lot of lands is actually a good thing, but I just mean it's taking up board state. This has summoning sickness. Everything else does not. So we're going to send the 15/15 in the air at you. And then these 4 at you. You have no open mana this time. You can block 2 of them. Both your creatures die. 10 damage gets in. There's nothing. We are Also, because we got a 4/4, a 3/3, a 3/3. We're definitely going to send this while, it's got vigilance. We're going to send this while it's got the buff. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 7/7. But I don't think I really want to tap anything else at this point because these are just little things that we don't want to lose either one of these, and the little guys aren't going to get through. Okay, so there's the attackers. Kabosh, you are the dunzos. And then we've got, you're definitely taking 15. And then we said we're sending 4, 5, 6, 7 at you. You would have to stack block with everything to destroy it. So I think we'll just block Queen Marchesa, although we do become the monarch now. So it doesn't have trample, so that's that. And actually, Aurelia can't finish the job on next turn by herself anyway. But we move to end step. We make another soldier. We'll just say this is the soldier this was the soldier that never got any buffs. This is the new one. And pass turn. All right. This has been a pretty fun game. I'm fun from that perspective. Everybody else these two kind of dudded out. She definitely did. He did better than last game, but still not remotely what he's supposed to do. That did very well considering. So here we are, turn 10. Going to be the last turn, hopefully. Well, it should be. Untap, upkeep, draw. Then again, I just drew that. That's a thing. Stupid, but sure. We're going to tap. We're going to Swords to Plowshare Aurelia. It's literally what I top decked, is the Swords to Plowshare. Regrettably, I can't do much else. So we'll tap 1, 2, 3 to play Gruesome Realization. Choose one, draw 2 cards, and you lose 2 life, or creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 till end turn. I will choose the first one, so I'll take 2 damage, but I'll draw 2 cards. No lands, and I only have 1 mana, not enough to do anything in my hand. Yep, that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be the game, but there's nothing else I can do, so we pass. I mean, okay, sorry. Yeah, they've still got way too many blockers. Nothing's getting through, so yeah, pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will tap these 2 and 1 other to equip Kemba's banner to Baird, just because he should have it. I don't think I even drew on my end step, but that's fine. I'm going to tap a white for my own Swords to Plowshare. Whoops. Oh, shoot. That's real bad. Uh-oh. I forgot. Swords to Plowshares. Its controller. Oh, wait, no, that's me. So you're going to gain 4 life because I'm taking that out. That just falls off. But I gained, oh man, yeah, that's going to help. What did I say? It was like 14, 15, so I gained 15. Up to 49 life. Sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to play Jor Kaldin, the Prevailer. It's a 5/4 with first strike. Creatures you control get +3/+0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I do. And this is an artifact creature, so I have 4. So everything's getting +3/+0. Yeah, we're just going to swing the board. This does not have there anymore, but we're going to swing the board. Oh, I keep forgetting. Other soldiers have vigilance. Son of a bitch. That could have... I mean, it doesn't matter. At this point, it could matter in a real game. All these soldiers have vigilance thanks to Captain of the Watch. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So he is a 14/14. None of these have trample, of course. So we can block the 14/14 with this. 5 and 10 we'll block with these 2. So we'll just say these ones don't get through. And this is Summoning Sickness, but everything else is swinging. 29 damage. There you go. Kabosh. Soldiers. Baird version. White and red is your winner. And I say that because I have my Harbin Vanguard Aviator Soldiers deck, which is blue-white, which I'm very pleased with as well. And it's fun because that's also a 2-drop commander. So just blue and a white, boom, you play them. So they both function really, really well. Obviously, the Harbin functions better because I've tweaked it more. This I haven't gone through many times. I've ordered a couple cards for it because he's a different mechanic. Idea is to get cards in here that have a power larger than their base power. So I have all the cards that say 4 Mirrodin, Kemba's, banner, and things like that. And all those Mirrodin cards aren't necessarily the best, but when they come in, they make a little 2/2, it attaches, and almost all of them buff it past the 2/2, so it triggers Baird. And he only makes 1 token at your end step. I do have some token doublers in here in white. When he makes a token, he makes 2 tokens or whatever. But it's not like he's going to make an army out of nowhere. It's just that Captain of the Watch makes 3 of them automatically, and I had 3 copies of the Squadron out, so they got super big right off the way, out of the bat, which was great. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all that noise. Please come back, tell your friends, everything, and I will see you next time.